This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. Super excited to have Jim Griffin with us here today. We're going to have a good talk. I can already feel it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me today. Looking forward to it.
Me too. So Jim, I know you gave me a little bit of background, but for those listening, tell them who you are, where you're from. How did you get into real estate?
So my name's Jim Griffin, of course, but I'm from my mom. It's always one of my dad jokes that I try to say that I get picked on about. But I'm from Johnson City, Tennessee, which is pretty much the northeast tip of Tennessee. Our real estate team covers Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. I've been in real estate since 2007, but first several years did a lot of bank inspections and stuff. Didn't really do anything with real estate, but just rode my sport bike and played a lot of Xbox. And then in 2011, had my first kid and decided that I had to man up a little bit. And from there, kind of went on. I'm proud to be a college dropout. My college degree has nothing to do with real estate whatsoever.
Tell them what it was.
Yeah, I was a piano performance major and used to compete nationally and internationally in classical music, and then traveled across the Southeast United States for about 17 years, leading worship and playing live places, playing live music in places, one thing or another. So,
do you still play?
I still do. Yep, still do. I've been cursed with the gift of being able to play by ear a decent amount. So not only can I read music, but I can play by ear too. So sometimes there's some fun, interesting late evenings around the house.
Yeah, absolutely. I can only imagine. So Jim, college dropout, how did you get on the path of real estate?
To be completely honest, I always had the desire to own a business my entire life. And, I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, single parent household. I had two badass women that raised me and helped to form me into who I am today. And, coming from that and coming from a place that we didn't really have a whole lot of anything, I knew that there had to be a smarter way than to go to work and to slave away all day long building a retail company's empire or some kind of other empire.
Right.
So I was always hungry, wanting to learn more information. And I'd say it probably started when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's probably when it initially started. That stirring started to get a little bit more hunger and wanting to understand more. And when I was 18, I was gifted a piece of investment property, just a single family rental. And I was like, okay, well, this makes sense. I'm making a couple $100 a month now. How can I do this on a grander scale? And wanted to understand more about sales and about passive income. So fast forward quite a few years, moved to Chattanooga and was down there for a while in the wireless industry and worked for T-Mobile. Learned a lot there. And then I worked for Verizon Wireless and management, learned a whole lot there. And then decided, if I'm going to work 75, 80 hours a week for somebody else, the most precious thing in life we have is time. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to spend my time doing something, it's going to be building something for me or the people in my world, or spending time with the people that I love that mean the most to me. So I left retail America and went into real estate in July of 2007.
Okay. All right. So we've been in the game for a while. And obviously your first brokerage wasn't EXP. So how did you cut the cord from the brokerage when you came over to EXP? How'd you find out about EXP? Why'd you make the move?
So I was originally introduced to EXP several years before I joined. And, one of the things that's always been important to me is, I want to make sure that I understand enough. I'm ready to make a jump. But where I was before, I was a coach for their coaching firm. I had a lot of great relationships with people locally and nationally. Had a lot of great relationships with several of their executives, one thing and another. And I didn't want to feel like leaving that would impact those relationships. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately the time came where the best way to put it is that God shut the door. The door was closed and I had no other option. But between my initial introduction and when we exited our previous brokerage, I ran into my sponsor at a mastermind event, or my business partner is really what he is. And he was telling me about how EXP had completely grown his business, how he now has multiple exit strategies and passive income streams and one thing and another. And it kind of piqued my interest. So that relationship was nurtured over about 7-8 months. And it just so happened that at the end of that was when the door got shut and it was time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So we made the jump, and it was, it was a little bit of a different transition for us, to say the least.
Yeah, I understand that 100%, Jim. And now that you're over here at EXP, it was an adjustment. It's a little bit of a virtual world, more collaboration, different model of rev share, stock options. So what is something that you've really enjoyed about EXP that now you, or I guess that you didn't expect in the beginning and now you use on a daily basis?
That's a great question. I'll tell you the thing that stuck out to me the most. Even though I had relationship with several of the top agents in the company, and we weren't hurting, we were ranked up there pretty well. We're in the top 300 agents internationally, but the word culture gets thrown around in a lot of different places. This is our culture. Look at our wall. We have our culture rules on our wall and what we believe is the culture of our organization, and that's great. But if you don't live it, then there's something lacking. I'm not saying that the people that were around me locally or that I knew didn't live it, but it wasn't the same. So when I came to EXP, I was expecting a lot of the same, in order to get into some of the masterminds or in order to talk to Glenn Sanford or Glenn Hobbs or any of these people, that are out there. I was like, I'm gonna have to really just try to get in front of these people, and I might have to buy a ticket to go sit in a room with them. Mm-hmm. And I went to an event in Cabo 2 years ago, after I've been at EXP for about a year and a half, and I'm sitting around the hot tub, and next thing I look up and I'm like, oh, there's several of the executives of the company wanting to know about me, wanting to know about my kids. And I joke with the people that I meet with here locally and I talk to about making the move. I'm like, it's not culture. We have community. We really do. Something that I thought that I had before, but I really didn't. And that's one of the things that, we've brought back into our team to make sure that we maintain that community. And I joke a lot. I say it 100 times. Like, it's not culture, it's community.
I'm writing that down right now for a social media post for your episode, Jim. I think that is an awesome quote. And not culture, it's community. And before we dive into more about like cultural commitments with EXP and production and all things Icon Award, I want to know about you, right? So you're a family guy, you have high production, you've got a team, there's a lot going on in your life. So how do you draw the boundary between work and play and, focus on a work-life balance?
So I'm a firm believer in work hard, play hard, especially in doing what we do. When we're dealing with people during marriage, divorce, life, death, job transfer, major life events, they're dealing with a lot of stress. And sometimes we are the recipients of that stress from them. Sometimes we have to be the deflectors. And then you throw in money and additional emotions and families in the mix. It makes it where it is. It can be very stressful at times. And then another layer of growing a team or growing a business, then it becomes even more complex. So what I've had to do is I've really had to draw that line to say, okay, well, when our kids are with us. So between Leanne and I, we have 3 kids. We have her 8-year-old daughter, who is Juliet, and then we have London and Lachlan, London will be 11 and Lachlan is 9 now. They're only going to be little once. And the most important thing is life is time. That was my whole thing of getting into real estate, not thinking that I'm going to get busier, right? But got busier. So when I've got my kids with me and, and we're hanging out with them, we make sure that we schedule time for the kids. And we have a lot of, just natural flow of spending time with the kids. But when I'm with them, I'm engaged. If I'm in a little league game, my phone's on do not disturb. And I've had to take a stance with clients and with people on my team to say, if you need me and it's an emergency, that emergency will still be there. I have to be present for my children for this hour. And the majority of people respect that. Now I'm readily available during business hours. And if they call, leave a message after hours, and it's like, say, 7 o'clock at my son's little league game, or I'm at a school program, then it's that takes precedence. And then when that's over, I'll follow up. And the kids have learned to be that because they appreciate me being present. And, when we go on vacation, we take a couple hours each day in the morning and the afternoon just to be able to plug in, check in on things and do what we have to do because you have to have that balance. And I don't really think
present. Yep.
There's not an even balance. The scales aren't going to be like, woo, right here, it's perfectly even. It's going to be, okay, it's heavy work or it's heavy family, heavy work or heavy family. And if we do what we do every single day without having reward to enjoy that with the people that are our why for the who's in our life, then why are we doing this? I'll go work at Walmart instead and know that I'm off at 2:00 in the afternoon. I can go sit on my front porch and watch the clouds go by.
I think they do give like $15, $16 an hour over there now. So
I won't go down that rabbit hole.
So Jim, you have this, balance that obviously changes from day to day in each chapter in life. But you have this high production. You are an icon agent. You're in the Tennessee market. So what does that average housing price look for you? Like, for my last podcast of the day, so my tongue's given out on me.
I completely understand.
But what's your average housing price look like over there? About how many homes do you have to sell to be able to cap in your year?
So in Johnson City or the Tri-Cities area, our average price point ranges between $225,000, $235,000, and it's actually come up significantly. Our team's production is about $265,000, $270,000, so we're outpacing the market. But when somebody's doing $225,000 sales, I was just getting this huge complex where like this person over here is just slaying it and they're selling 5 homes because they have an average price point of $20 million. And I'm like, are you serious? We're sitting here slaving away selling $150,000 homes trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
For somebody to become an icon, with EXP in our market, it's going to take between 31 and 34 transactions. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to what it takes to become an icon here in a couple questions too. So don't let that train of thought leave you too quick. But, more than just production, being an icon agent takes a lot of effort on your end. You've got to, feed back into the community that you've got here. You've got a cultural commitment to EXP that you have to fulfill. So coaching/teaching, mentoring, vetting other icons. What route do you take to fulfill that cultural commitment and why?
So for myself personally, it's not just about fulfilling the commitment. It's about what's going to be fulfilling to me and fulfilling to others. I have a passion for paying it forward and teaching others, investing in others, whether it is through mentorship or if it's through teaching and saying, hey, look, I've been through these growth pains and these are all the mistakes that I've made, and I was the pioneer in our market. You can come and you can do it faster. You can do better than me and outpace me. And that's awesome. I'll celebrate your wins all day long. So for me, the cultural commitment that I had to make was to teach, to try to share some of the knowledge that I've learned, some of the things that I learned from the School of Hard Knocks with other agents so they can excel.
Absolutely. No, that's incredible. And, it feeds back into the next generation of real estate agents and how well the company does. Stock prices. Hello. So why not give back? And speaking of stock options and, big glass shiny trophies, opportunity to go to EXPCon, shareholders, those are just some of the benefits that being an icon agent has. So what's your favorite benefit about it? And why do you set icon on your list of goals every year? Because it's more than just selling homes. There's a lot to do to fulfill that.
Well, I mean, so the Icon Stock Award, which honestly, the reasons why we joined EXP didn't have anything to do with the Icon Award or the Stock Award or the Rev Share. It was where do I, at that point, it's kind of where do I know people? Will this model be something that's going to work for me and allow me to be in an environment that's going to help me to grow and help the people in my world to grow? But the thing that I probably appreciated about it the most is, the Icon Stock Award on the surface level. So when I hit when I received the Icon Award, I'm basically zero-based. And to be zero-based and to gain ownership in a company, why not?
Right.
And then, and the agent equity program where we can buy stock and they give us a discount on that stock too by just taking 5% of my revenue, my gross commission, and keep on stocking it away into retirement fund. Well, I mean, I'm just entered 41 earlier this year. So I've got to hopefully got a couple more years, but the last 10 years that I was at my previous brokerage, you know what I got for that? Nothing. And here not only do I get rewarded for my production and I get ownership, I can grow with the company. I can also just take that money like a 401k at corporate America and sock it away and wake up one day like, oh my gosh, look how much money is here. I have ownership in the company, and it's something to celebrate because nobody else does that.
Right. No other industry that I even know of, let alone brokerage, does that, Jim. And so to speak of, iconing and, coaching, giving back to people of EXP, say a couple of maybe rookies or somebody that's new to EXP and has been a real estate agent for a while. They just joined. They're like, hey, Jim, let's have this talk. I've got some big goals this year. How do I icon in my first year? Is that possible for them? What are some goals to set out on for daily, monthly activities, or some big mistakes to avoid that could absolutely kill that for them?
It is most definitely 100% possible. The thing that you have to master is you have to master this. You have to master your mindset. A lot of people are going to be naysayers. Oh, you can't do that in your first year. You can't do this. Oh, this way doesn't work. And, just ignore them. Ignore the naysayers. Eliminate the noise. Keep whatever your commitment and your goal is in front of you at all times, whether it's on your cell phone, on your desktop wallpaper, on your computer, if it's printed off by a label maker on your bathroom mirror. Keep whatever the thing is that's driving you to accomplish that in front of you, because then it has top of mind awareness. Now, at the same time, what we do is simple and not easy. Where we tend to overcomplicate things is we go and we chase all these shiny objects. Oh, I need to have this CRM. Oh, I need to have this. Oh, I need to go out here and get Zillow ads and Realtor.com ads, and I need to do pay-per-click and retargeting and geofencing. No. The best thing to do is to go through this. We all have one. We're attached to it. Pick up the phone and call the people that you already know. Nurture
call them?
Yeah, I know. It's the hardest thing to do. It's not going to dial itself.
I hate calling people. Go ahead, Jim.
Don't hide behind emails and one thing and another, or put somebody on a canned drip response. They don't want that, especially starting out. People want genuine and authentic people, and the easiest place to get the success is the fastest. Right here, people that already know you. When you run out of those people, if you exhaust all those research, all those reaches and connections that you have, then pick one of the two things that you're going to do and you're going to do it well. Whether it's, I'm going to post some content onto my Facebook page to drive awareness of myself and work that database as well. And I'm going to do that every single day, and I'm going to do it consistently. Because if you don't do it, and whatever you do, if you don't do it consistently, it's going to fail. If you're going to direct mail and do it consistently. But start with the actions and the activities. The biggest mistake that I made in my business is I was great at creating new business, but I failed miserably in maintaining relationships after the close. Funny enough, I used to joke, and we use this as a running joke at the office, and sometimes people don't believe us, but it is 100% true. I would tell my listing clients that I was the one-night stand agent. Isn't that what you say? I'd say, you know what? You're gonna love me. You're gonna think that I'm the best thing since sliced bread, and that I've made the sun come up this morning. I'm gonna sell your house, put more money in your pocket, help you navigate these waters. Everything's gonna be great. You're gonna get to the end and be like, wow, this is amazing. We're best friends. And I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna remember your name after we leave this table, because I struggle with names. I just always have. I'm not gonna call you on your birthday or your anniversary. I'm not gonna send you a nice little newsletter either. That's just not one of my strengths. So I just owned it and set those expectations up front. And, but remember, people want people that are genuine and authentic. And because I about it and I embraced it, it's a horrible thing to say, just being honest.
The transparency is there, though. That matters to people.
Yep.
That's awesome, Jim. And great advice to those looking to join EXP and hit icon in their first year. And Jim, were you ever skeptical of EXP, kind of too good to be true, waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of way?
I wasn't really skeptical. Of course, I had, from the time I was initially introduced until I made the move, and several of my friends had made the move as well, I equated it to being the same thing of where I was. The place that I was before, I didn't appreciate rev share because I had profit share. And I was like, I had 35 people in my profit share system. They're all producing. My biggest check was like $200. And I'm like, well, that whoop-de-do. That's, half a tank of gas, today.
Right.
And then,
yeah, you're right.
when I didn't make any importance about that and didn't see it that it was my responsibility to share EXP with people and to share the story with people to where it could possibly change their life. I didn't really understand, like I said, I knew of these different things that are benefits, but so I wasn't like, oh, it's skeptical. I was like, it's probably the same thing that I have, but probably just a different color. At the end of the day, I'm going to be zero-based, and I can bring my team with me in an environment that we're all going to be able to grow and give opportunities for them. Mm-hmm. That was really it. But now I'm here, man, I should have not only jumped a long time ago and made that switch, I should have been more aware and also explained to everybody all the benefits and things that EXP has.
Yeah,
it's second to none.
Hands down. On this topic, explaining all the benefits that EXP has, say that somebody right now is listening and, they're on the edge themselves. They're like, hey, should I make that move to EXP? How do I break up with my broker? Are they a cult? Are they a pyramid scheme? Is this too good to be true? For somebody watching right now, what would you have to say to kind of nip them in the butt to get over here?
I was teaching my kids about compounding interest and investments. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a nerd. And also, explaining why do you need to save consistently. And I said, well, let's talk about when you make fear-based decisions and what kind of losses that you could expect. Mm-hmm. So I used the example that, in the 4 years that I didn't make the move to EXP, I can easily figure out my gross commission was. So therefore, I find out what my stock purchase amount would have been, and I can average cost that by the average price per year. It was $6.5 million. That if I would have joined 4 years earlier and made the move just in what I would have bought, that with the growth that I would have made $6.5 million. My life would be completely different now today. I'd have a nice house at the beach. There's no telling. But instead of overthinking, overanalyzing, find someone that you align with. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, your environment has to support where you're at. If your environment doesn't support it, it doesn't matter how good the coffee and the donuts are at the cafe area. That doesn't matter. Is the environment that you're in going to allow you to propel growth? And do their core values match up with you? For not only you can grow, but your family can grow. You can make a difference in their lives, and if you have people that are with you, that you make a difference in their lives. And just do it. Don't hesitate, because I'm a little hurt.
Just do it.
Yeah, I'm a little hurt over $6.5 million in stock.
Right. And think about how much money you're leaving on the table with your current brokerage, and all that money you can be earning back here. And there's a lot. If you're a numbers person, list it out. If you are an emotional person, list out the pros and cons, because it just makes sense.
Yep. Well, if you're above an average agent, the average agent sells a few homes a year, but if you're producing consistently right around that 30 mark, depending on the market that you're in, because some markets it might be 25. Mm-hmm. But like out here, if you're producing 30 plus units, there's no reason for you to be somewhere else.
Right.
It makes no sense. It doesn't. Did it take a little bit to get used to being virtual? Yeah, it did. However, the only thing that COVID did something good. It interrupted our behavioral pattern. Right. It made us work differently and live differently and broke that routine that we're in. So if everybody else is able to do it, why can't you? Why can't you make that jump?
Right. Don't be scared of the technology.
Yeah. Well, just embrace it and just go. It's overcomplicating it. Mm-hmm. It's like before technology, when you were buying a cell phone, or you were buying a product from somebody, they either come to your house, or you met them at McDonald's and you sat at the table and you had the conversation. They didn't need an office. So the world's biggest organizations were built out of garages and Waffle House restaurants. You don't need to have an office. No.
I love that point. And there are brick and mortar, just reach out to some partners within the state. A lot of them open up to all EXP agents, even if you're not on their team, to rent a desk or come in if that's a must have for you. But we live in a virtual world. How cool is that to work from home, or honestly wherever the hell you want? And so that's just one of the.
How much rather sit on a patio than sit in an office?
Or on a boat.
Go sit down to the local brewery, or go to a rooftop and hang out there and meet clients there and have conversations, or put my headset on and knock out stuff I need to work, versus sitting in a little cubicle inside of an office with a whole bunch of other people that are going to do nothing but distract me from reaching my goal.
Right. Absolutely, Jim. So well said. That was my last question for you. So if you guys want to come over to EXP, have questions about it, reach out to Jim Griffin. I'm sure he'll be happy to field any questions, comments, or concerns that you have. Jim, anything that you want to leave the listeners with as we wrap up today?
Pretty much just do it. Live a life without regrets. Protect your time. Appreciate you so much for having me. It's been a blessing.
Do what you love. Come over to EXP, sell houses, get that passive income rolling. And Jim, it has been a pleasure. Are you going to be at EXPCon?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see you there.
Vegas and EXPCon. I mean, that's a win-win for sure.
A big old family reunion in Sin City. Count me in. Jim, thank you so much. I'll see you in Vegas. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.